take your seats quickly. Our program will begin in 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program begins shortly. Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of NALEO and NALEO Educational Fund, Miss Erika Bernal Martinez.
Buenas tardes, NALEO. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm, all the networking. I'm hearing you're loving our breakout sessions, our leadership labs. Thank you for joining us again for our lunch. Buenas tardes. As you know, California's next governor will shape policy that touches every one of our communities and issues, from housing to healthcare to public safety. If I could ask you to find your seats. Thank you so much. This morning, we are pleased to welcome author, small business owner, and candidate for Governor of California, Mr. Steve Hilton, for his address. Welcome, Mr. Hilton. We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. How are we doing? I know it's not long to go till the football, which is coming up shortly, as we call it. No, I'm sorry. I just want to say an enormous thank you to all of you for inviting me here today. It's a great honor and a pleasure to be here. And I want to say thank you to all of you for what you do. Thank you for running, for organizing, for fighting, for being there to lift up people in communities right across the country. I really appreciate what you do, what you've been fighting for, and the fact that this great organization now, 50 years old, congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, I'm not going to go on and on about the World Cup, but as you can tell, I have a foreign accent, but just so to reassure you, that is our flag. I'm a proud American now, an immigrant, a naturalized citizen. The greatest honor, as far as I'm concerned, is to be an American. But, you know, there is the small matter of which team you support. Of course, until a week or so ago, I was all for Team USA. But now we have a very important game coming up. And so I got to say, come on, England. Now, I don't know. Maybe that won't go down well in this room. But we'll see. We'll see. Look, I just wanted to say, and actually, here's a small thing. 250 years ago, a very important date. Obviously, we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of our wonderful nation. And maybe, just maybe, as a small token, a little consolation after America, after we beat the Brits 250 years ago, maybe a small consolation would be for them, just let England win the World Cup here on American soil 250 years later. Just a little consolation there. Look, I just wanted to say a couple of things by way of introduction. You may have heard a few things about me. I'm the Republican candidate for governor. You may have heard that I used to host a show on Fox News. You may have heard that I'm endorsed by President Trump. Those things are all true. You can see that originally I'm from the UK, but I just want to tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm an immigrant here today, but I'm also an immigrant twice over. My parents are Hungarian. They fled communism in Hungary. I grew up in a working class home, the son of immigrants in England. By the way, if Hungary were in the World Cup, I'd be rooting for them, but that didn't happen. My parents regular immigrant household. I grew up in that kind of family. My stepfather, also Hungarian, worked construction. My childhood was earning a bit of money, helping out on construction sites. My first job was project manager for a construction company. So that story of the immigrant aspiration, climbing the ladder of opportunity in a new country, that is my story. I worked hard, I got to Oxford University, started businesses, worked in 10 Downing Street as senior advisor to the Prime Minister, moved here with my wife and my family in 2012, taught at Stanford, started a business. That's the story of America, and California should capture that story better than anywhere else, not just in America, but on Earth. And that's what I'm fighting for in this campaign. And I just want to tell you, I've been on the road since launching my campaign last April, up and down the state, hundreds of events, thousands and thousands of people. And the thing that really strikes me about the conversations I have with everyone is just what a struggle it is today in California, in particular for working class Californians, small business owners like I was. I ran a couple of restaurants. That is a really tough business. And it is especially tough today in California for small business owners, for working class Californians. And that's what I'm fighting for in this campaign. I'm not an ideologue. I don't want to tell anyone how to live their life or run their business. I just want everyone to have a shot at climbing that ladder of opportunity. And that's why my campaign is totally focused on lifting up working class Californians with simple, positive, practical things that can make their life easier and help them up that ladder of opportunity. $3 gas, cut electric bills in half, your first 150 grand tax-free, starter homes for young families, standards back in our school system so we rectify the disaster of so many of our students not even meeting basic standards in English and math. Simple, positive, practical things. All I want is to see this amazing, beautiful state of ours succeed, and everyone, especially working class Californians and small businesses, be able to thrive, so that this state, our beautiful state of California, is the best state and the best place anywhere to start and raise a family, to start and run and grow a business. I just want, like all of us, for California to be truly amazing. That's what I'm fighting for, and I'd love to work with anyone who shares that dream and shares that vision. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for having me.
And now, please welcome NALEO Educational Fund Chair and member of the University of California Region's Selection Advisory Committee, the Honorable Alejandra Sotelo Solis.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. ¿Cómo estamos? Oh, in 5 minutes. Okay, well, buenos días. So, buenos días. You guys enjoying your lunch so far? Qué bueno. So, how many of you have stopped by the Community Service Project? I bet, raise your hand. Yeah, give yourselves a big round of applause because we have made 1,200 bags for the Children's Burn Foundation. Felicidades! Woo! Okay, so back. Okay, hi. Welcome to the on the national stage, Leaders Shaping the Moment luncheon. As the first Latina mayor of the city of National City, I know a little something about what the work that we have to do entails. En las tiendas, la señora asking you, why is this happening? Making sure that the pothole gets fixed, and making sure that the parks and recs get funded. And public service gives us an incredible opportunity and an enormous responsibility. Good governance is not easy, and we all know that. balancing the budget, evaluating staff and the programs, and making complex and nuanced policy decisions are not for the faint of heart. That responsibility comes with tough choices. Choices that sometimes means telling people no, or no, just not right now. Come back in a little bit. And even people who supported you, you have to say no, pero regresa. And even when people who care about you, you want to make things and give them things that you simply can't pencil out. And not because you don't want to, but because they're not possible for the best long-term interests of our community. And that's tough. It is one of the harder parts of this work, but it's exactly why this network matters so much. Our NALEO familia. Look around this room. I'm gonna let you take 2 seconds. Look around the room, how fabulous you look. Ándale, look, ay, qué fabulous. Míralos, wow. And I said it with the G, guau. Guau. Look around, qué hermosos. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Everyone here understands that pressure. Everyone here has made a decision they knew would disappoint someone because it was the right thing to do. Everyone here is working to carry forward a legacy that started long before we arrived, and that we are the responsible party for building upon that. Good governance has a cost, but is worth it. It carries and carrying that takes courage. It takes tenacity. It takes strength. Much of that strength we draw from each other, from being in a room like this with a network like NALEO. Give it up, yes. And as the chairwoman of the NALEO Educational Fund Board, I am so proud of the work that we do to support your success and the ability for you to govern effectively. We have a powerful conversation ahead of us later during this luncheon, and I'm glad you're all here to be a part of it. I'm now pleased to introduce a leader who has been doing something all too rare in today's political moment, finding common ground. Please join me in welcoming a member of the California Problem Solvers Caucus, California State Senator Suzette Martinez Valardes, co-chair of the come on, give it up for her. Co-chair of the California Hispanic Legislative Caucus and co-chair of the California Problem Solvers Caucus. Un fuerte aplauso. Let's take this picture.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Is it that time yet? Is it good afternoon? I think it is good afternoon, right? Are we there yet? Well, good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, thank you so much to my fellow Martinez, Erica Bernal Martinez, and NALEO for having me here today. Congratulations to 50 years of developing Latino leaders and strengthening civic participation. And in a time of deep division, that mission has never been more important. And what better place to celebrate than here in my hometown in Los Angeles, Welcome. When I first saw this theme of this segment, leaders shaping the moment, I kept coming back to one thought. Moments don't shape themselves, people do. Every one of us is here because someone opened a door, took a chance on us, or made a sacrifice so we could go farther than they ever imagined. Like so many of yours, my family's story didn't start with power or with influence. It began with sacrifice. On my dad's side, my family toiled California's soil in the Central Valley, doing the hard work that helped put food on the Americans' tables across the United States. But they also believed that they were doing that work so that their children could have opportunities that they never did. My Nana came to this country from Mexico in search of the American promise of opportunity. At 17, my Tata left Puerto Rico to join the United States military and eventually built a life for himself here in California. He left everything familiar because he believed that the next generation could dream bigger than he ever could. My parents were born here in Los Angeles, high school sweethearts that had 4 no sabo kids. Yes, we are the no sabo kids. All different journeys, but all one shared belief, that every generation has a responsibility to leave the next one with more opportunity than it had. So every time that I walk onto the California Senate floor, I know that I didn't get there alone. I carry generations of sacrifice, of faith, and perseverance with me every single day. And that's why representation matters, not because of the title, but because when we step into a room of power, we don't stand there alone. We carry generations before us, and we open the door for generations after us. Somewhere, a young Latino or a Latina is watching us, and they're wondering if they belong in the room. Our job is to make sure that they know the answer is yes. By opening the door, but opening the door is really only the beginning. Once we're inside, what we do matters even more. Leadership to me isn't about making everyone agree with you. It's about having the humility to listen to people who see the world differently than we do, because none of us has a monopoly on good ideas. So after Latino Republicans in California made historic gains in the legislature, we realized that there wasn't a place for us at the existing table. We didn't complain about it, we built one. Today, I'm proud to serve as the founding co-chair of the California Hispanic Legislative Caucus because we believe something simple. No political party owns the Latino community. Our heritage is bigger than politics. Our future is bigger than one party. Our community isn't asking us to win political arguments. They're asking us whether or not they can afford a home, whether or not their children are receiving the education that they deserve, whether their neighborhoods are safe, whether their health care is within reach, whether immigration is addressed with both compassion and accountability, and whether the American dream is still possible for the next generation. And those aren't Republican issues, those aren't Democrat issues, those are American issues. And that is how leaders shape a moment, by opening doors, by building bridges, and by leaving our communities better than we found them. Because our greatest responsibility isn't to be the first, it's to make sure that we're not the last. It's to open doors for those who come before us and leave more chairs at the table than we found. So as you leave this inspiring conference with these inspiring leaders, I hope that you remember this. Leadership isn't measured by the title that you have. It's measured by the opportunities you create, by the people that you inspire, and by the bridges that you build. For 50 years, NALEO has been opening doors for Latino leaders. And it's our turn to ensure that those doors never close behind us. Thank you. Congratulations on this incredible milestone, NALEO. May God bless each and every one of you and the communities that you serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Valladares, for demonstrating what principled collaborative leadership looks like. Let's give her one more round of applause. And didn't she look fabulous in that red? Fabulous, working it. So now we're at a special moment in our program. Each year, NALEO honors individuals and organizations whose service has helped shape our shared mission through the NALEO Golden Legacy Award and the NALEO President's Award. This year, the Golden Legacy Award recognizes two extraordinary individuals, and I have the honor of presenting one of those recognitions. As NALEO's first executive director, Mr. Ed Avila helped build this organization during its most formative years, laying a foundation that has helped empower Latino communities for decades. He is receiving this award in recognition of his visionary leadership during NALEO's formative time, a lifetime of exemplary public service, and enduring a commitment to Latino civic empowerment. Mr. Avila had the vision to see what NALEO could become and the discipline to build it, one relationship, one program, one commitment at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Edward Avila.
Thank you very much. I've got to say, I can't believe what I'm looking at right now.
Yes.
I remember the days we were talking about having a NALEO. Congressman Roybal kept convincing me it's something we need to do, and we proceeded to start it, and look at what we are now. It's amazing, incredible. They told me, Ed, you know, we're going to get you up there for 2 minutes. And I said, oh, okay, that's fine. And I said, 2 minutes is an impossible task here. I'm going to just take a couple more. And that's that this is an amazing group that we have in front of us. You guys really do incredible work on behalf of all of us. And you do it so diligently that I can't help but feel a little awkward standing up here. But having said that, I say this: thank you for all you do for our community. And that's a sincere thank you, because you do so much. And sometimes you don't look around and understand how much that is. So thank you again, and it's with sincere appreciation that I tell you that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Avila. Let's give him another round of applause for the vision and legacy he built. So I'm wearing my Mexico scarf because ECC, and my United States of America NALEO jersey from last year. And don't forget to buy your NALEO 50th anniversary jersey online at our NALEO store. If you flip your name tag over, it's right there. Look at how convenient, right? So with that, again, I want to thank you all for enjoying your lunch. We're not done yet, pero ya mero. So now I'll introduce our president of the NALEO Fund Board. No, I'm the Ed Fund Board. Man. the chair of the board, híjole, Mr. Brian Colon. Let's bring him up on stage.
It's all right. It's a beautiful day here in the beautiful state of California. Thank you so much. And how about another round of applause for Mr. Avila, one of the visionaries that got us started 50 years ago. What well-deserved recognition and congratulations, Mr. Avila. So look, it is my pleasure to continue today's ceremony with so many distinguidos in the room. It has been such a beautiful day for us and a day and a half of the convention. One more round of applause for the staff. None of this happens without the staff of NALEO. So look, the next two awards, the universe was in alignment for me. It allowed me to be in the right place at the right time as president of NALEO. Because these two recipients, the first being one that was identified by the staff, and the second being another award identified by staff and promoted to our board for approval, and both of them have deep connections. I want to tell you about a moment that stayed with me for more than 40 years. For those of you that were troopers and stayed through my 47-minute keynote yesterday morning, you heard this story a little bit, but you heard me mention about somebody called Mr. Speaker. In 1982, I was a pobrecito growing up in Valencia County. And my mom had met a village counselor of the village of Bosque Farms, New Mexico. And she mentored that young leader. He was about 20 years old. And he took me to a political rally in Valencia County in Belén at the sheriff's posse. And a man stepped up to the microphone following his father's remarks. This man was the son of a baker. And in that political rally, I can remember when the man stepped to the microphone and gave a speech, I told Scott, who had taken me there, I wasn't old enough to drive. I said, what does that man do? Because I want to do that. I want to make other people feel inspired the way I was inspired by the remarks that Mr. Speaker had provided to that audience of a few hundred people. And that Mr. Speaker, that man, that public servant, that son of a baker, that wasn't in the script either. That incredible leader, if you're from New Mexico, you know that he's literally a living legend. That man was the Honorable Raymond Sanchez. Raymond Sanchez was elected to the House of Representatives in 1971. He'd served for nearly 30 years, 16, more than half of those years, as Speaker of the House. He built coalitions, he protected working families, and reshaped the political landscape of New Mexico forever. And he turned that speakership over to Hispano after Hispano because of the foundation he laid. That's what it means when we reach back and bring others with us. That's what it means when we lead with intention. His record speaks for itself, but so does what he means to those of us who watched him, were inspired by him, and followed him. He changed my life. He led NALEO. It's my distinct honor and privilege to be that pobrecito from Valencia County who grew up to serve you as your president and to issue him the NALEO Golden Legacy Award. The Honorable Raymond G. Sanchez, in honor of a recognition of a lifetime of leadership and an inspiring public service record that honored and inspired generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, aplauso por el honorable Raymond G. Sanchez.
Oh, God. Goodness gracious. I don't think I can live up to that introduction. However, I'll give it a short shot. 1976, I received a call from the congressman, the only congressman in the United States House from California. And he invited me to a meeting here in California. City of Industry is where we met. And it was amazing to be in the presence of a giant. But the thing that was impressive, or less impressive, I should say, is the few number of us that were there. There couldn't be 14 of us, and most of us were not Hispanic. There were 4 Hispanics from New Mexico, 1 congressman, Lujan, the former ambassador to Spain, Ed Romero, myself, and Bill Montoya, a county commissioner. The congressman said to us that he needed a vehicle similar to what they had in Congress, although he was a majority of 1 in his caucus. That's only 1 Hispanic. And he said, we need to increase that, but more importantly, what we need to do is we need to get the local people involved. Those elected officials who represent the people. And I'm going to task you with something, Raymond. I'm going to make you vice president of this association. But you're going to have a duty. You're going to have to go out and recruit people to join NALEO. And I specifically want you to go around New Mexico. I want you to talk to every single elected official in New Mexico that you can find, everyone that's appointed that you can find, and make sure they know about NALEO. Because NALEO will someday be the key organization among Hispanics, Latino Americans of all breeds, wherever you came from. So I told him I'd try. And I did. I went home and I sent out letters to everybody I knew. I sent out letters to Chicago, some people I knew up there because I'd been on the MALDEF board. I was actually on it at the time. And I sent it to them too. I actually traveled to Chicago to get the war zone straightened out because the Puerto Ricanos weren't sure they wanted to be called Cubanos, and the Cubanos didn't want to be called some other nationality. So we had to solve that problem. And of course, we came up with NALEO, Latinos. Try to encompass everybody. Fact of the matter is, that was a telling moment in my life, and a telling moment in your life, in your life, in your life, in the lives of all of you. You have made a difference. Look at you. Look around. First conference we had, it took a few years to get together, 300 people showed up, mostly from New Mexico. And look what's happened now. You have grown, you have influence, and you make a difference. There's a saying that we're all a reflection of the people we associate with. And we are. And you are a reflection of America. I introduced myself one time in Miami, and I said, my name is Raymond Sanchez, and I'm an American of Hispanic descent, and I'm proud of it. And I'm telling each one of you, that's how you should introduce yourselves, however you feel. You are an American of Latino descent, and be proud of it. To Erica, thank you so much. Brian, my goodness gracious, there's so many people. You know, it's just absolutely amazing. Anyway, thank you all for this award. You know, I can't thank you. It was a surprise to me, to be quite honest with you. I did not expect it at all. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, all right, all right. Now you have heard directly from one of the greatest orators in the history of the state of New Mexico. Thank you to the Honorable Raymond G. Sanchez. Thank you for the impact you've had on my life and so many others by building what we see today, which is the NALEO 50 years later. And I will just tell you, if you didn't notice, we had to push the walls out to accommodate that many people that joined us yesterday. So we really are grateful to the staff. We have a lean, mean team running the organization called NALEO, and they've been asked to do more with less this year than ever before because you said yes to engaging with us. So I'm super grateful to the staff. And now let's stick with today's recognitions. The NALEO President's Award is a recognition I take very personally. It's not just a gesture, it's a statement of shared values. It's a statement of sustained commitment to this organization. And the organization we're recognizing today has clearly earned it. And I'm so grateful to be in this moment, at this time, to be able to present it. Walmart has been a consistent partner in supporting NALEO and Latino communities across the country. They've done that through engagement, economic opportunity, and investing in organizations that serve our communities. Their commitment to our work reflects a genuine understanding of what it means to be a partner. When I visited with the leadership of Walmart before this afternoon's luncheon, I talked to them about sometimes we have folks that come and go. Sometimes we have folks that have a transaction with NALEO. They slide the check across the table. They get a package that Dave's worked on so hard. But sometimes it's a transaction. With Walmart, it's never a transaction. It's a relationship. We're grateful for that relationship, and it's an honor to present the 2026 NALEO President's Award to Walmart and to invite their team on stage, led by the happy warrior and gentle giant of a leader, Louis. Wait, where's the award? We got to get the award. Here we go.
All right, I got to raise this a little bit. Hello, everybody. Brian, thank you. Erica, Bernal, thank you for your leadership, all the elected officials and the community leaders that are here. This is actually a really proud moment for Walmart. We've been committed to NALEO for over 2 decades, and 2 decades strong, which has been really good. The most important part is, I heard it just a little bit ago, it is important to say you're Latino, but we're filled with a bunch of Latinos in this room. And what I'm really proud of is that Walmart continues to invest in their associates. I got 4 leaders that came with me. Pedro, that you see here, is taking some pictures. He's also served our country, U.S. Marine Corps. And I also have Lupita, Chris, and Humberto that are also local leaders here. The good story about this is that, as we hear a lot about investing in Latinos, all these leaders, individuals, started as hourlies. They came in as part-time jobs, and they made a career out of it. And that's what we do at Walmart, Sam's Club, and that's what we do worldwide. And that's really important. The other thing is that we don't just do it alone. We do it in the communities in which we do business. It's not just 4 walls, as I tell our leaders all the time. We're there to support the community and work with the community. So to get this award, it's it's an honor. But not only that, we're really proud to work for Walmart, and we're really proud about what we do for our communities and what we do for our associates. So thank you very much. We appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your lunch.
Thank you, Mr. Luis Santos, and congratulations to Walmart. And I said it was personal because back in the late 80s, early 90s, you heard my journey of economic poverty to where I stand before you today. But a very important moment in that journey was when Curtis Roseman, the manager of Walmart Las Cruces, gave this guy a chance. And I became, at that moment, the youngest night receiving manager in the country. And it changed my life because I was able to move up that economic ladder slowly to where I am today. So Walmart, thank you for believing in community, and thank you for believing in this redheaded, freckle-faced Puerto Rican Jew. Thank you. So it's my honor to introduce this afternoon's keynote speaker. And for those of you who saw, when he walked in the room, you could hear a kerfuffle, because everybody wanted to be able to be eyes on, and if they could get close, to be able to shake his hand. He is also a living legend in the Latino community, served in the United States. We call him Mr. Secretary of the Interior. And if I looked that good in a cowboy hat, I'd sleep in it at night, I promise you. My wife would love me a little bit more after 30 years. But he served as Secretary of the Interior and the United States Ambassador to Mexico. He did it with distinction, and he's been a tireless advocate for public lands, water rights, and Latino representation in federal service. He brought the shine back to civil service in the federal government. Please join me in welcoming the distinguished, the honorable, the Latino leader, the Honorable Ken, Mr. Secretary Salazar.
Thank you very, very much. So, to Brian, let me just say what an amazing journey he has had. And to all of you who are here, you just heard from Speaker Raymond Sanchez. Gives us great hope. To my wonderful friends and leaders, Erica Bernal, Arturo Vargas, for so many years, everybody who's here, I just want to say it's a happy birthday. Happy birthday to NALEO. It's just the beginning. I know you've heard from a lot of speakers, but I think we should sing Las Mañanitas, a very short version of that. So please get on your feet. We got to get some energy in this crowd. Ándale, levántense, vamos. Okay, Brian, you come. Tú eres, ven, ayúdame. Mira, dime. Erica, where are you? Erica Bernal. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep it short. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser día de tu santo, te las cantamos a ti. El día que... Stay there. El día en que tú naciste, NALEO, nacieron todas las flores. Ándenle, nacieron. Ya viene amaneciendo, ya la luz del día nos dio. ¡Que viva NALEO! Gracias por los 50 años de NALEO. Gracias porque esperamos mucho los siguientes 50 años. ¡Que viva NALEO! ¡Que viva los Estados Unidos de América! ¡Que viva la unión entre Estados Unidos y México! Eso, thank you so much. Now, I gotta say this, if I may, I got just a few minutes, right? Just a few minutes. So, you know, let's talk in Eric about what this gathering means. We gather here really in some times where there's some clouds, a lot of pain. You can see it in a lot of different ways. And wherever I go around the country, people ask me, well, do you have hope? What is it that we should do? So just like you heard from the speaker, you heard from so many others today. In these desperate times, it's also time for action, because it's the action that gives us great hope. When you think about the 50s and the 70s, the civil rights movements, the organization, the seeds of Congressman Roy Ball and others who said, if we unite, we can do some great things. Things have changed. Compare 2026 to 1956. How things have changed. This gathering, the power of the community, wherever we are. So I'm here to just tell you, I have never been more determined and more optimistic about the future of the United States of America. And it resides in all of you. It resides in our fight for a more inclusive America. Now, some people say, as Brian said, I've done a lot of things. I was the first Latino elected Attorney General of my state. I was the first United States Senator ever elected outside of the state of New Mexico. And I was the Secretary of Interior with Barack Obama. And I became United States Ambassador to Mexico. Qué orgullo, qué honor. Llevando el idioma de mi tierra, de los Estados Unidos. La herencia de 400 años en las cabezas del Río Grande, donde nace el Río Grande. Rodeado por las sierras de sangre de Cristo y las sierras de San Juan. Donde nació la ciudad de Santa Fe, 120 millas al sur. The city of Holy Faith. I was proud to take that history to Mexico. And proud to say the same fight that Barack Obama waged when he ran for president, when he was number 99 in the United States Senate, and I was number 100. That we took that to try to transform the future of the relationship of the Americas. And so I'm proud of that history. But right now, in this country, and what gives us a lot of pain, is that we're living in a time when there are those forces that are trying to engage in this project of erasure, to erase who we are as Americans, to undercut the efforts, as they have already done in significant ways, Walmart excluded, in our opportunity to create an inclusive America. The attacks on diversity and inclusion, which don't end. You know, I went with President Obama to be part of his team because we're going to change the world forever. Many of you will remember those days when we thought we turned the world around in a dime. When the days of Brown versus the Board of Education, separation of the races, the fights, all of a sudden, we had arrived. It was our moment. But the forces on the other side decided to turn us back. You saw some Supreme Court decisions, 5-4, on birthright. Justice Roberts, in writing the decision, spoke about the Dred Scott decision. And Justice Taney, writing in that decision about how people should be separated by their blood. That was then, but those are the same forces that are at work today. So our job in NALEO, and I'm a proud member, have spoken in NALEO, I think 2 or 3 different times in my different positions, is to keep the fight up, to keep the fight for a more inclusive America. But we take great hope. You know, so one of the things I have done, invite you all to participate in, I'm writing a book about the borderlands. And there's 2 things that I want you to take away from that book as you read it. The first is that we need to create a new American alliance. It has to be durable and transcend the times. I sat in the Oval Office with Ted Kennedy, John McCain, and George W. Bush many times. We try to get it done, okay? But things on the border and immigration reform seem to always get bogged down. A lot of hardship. You think about the dreamers, los soñadores. You think about how our fight to bring 12 million undocumented people out of the shadows of America. That's what we were working for when I was a U.S. Senator. That's what we were working for when I was Secretary of Interior. That's what I was working for as United States Ambassador. But what happened? Dennis Hastert, then the Republican House. And I'll put the blame here where it is. decided that the border and migration were the low-hanging fruit of American politics. You look at the border, you look at migrants, you demonize them, you demonize an inclusive America, and you win elections. Happened in 2016, happened again in 2024. And so our test now, in November of 2026 and in November of 2028, is whether we're going to stop that project of erasure. We can and we must. We can and we must. Now, so what would that future look like of this new American alliance? Well, first, we do need to secure the border. Country without borders is not good. You think about the people in Mexico, the insecurity that they live in today. Many of you know these places: Tamaulipas, the Frontera Chica, Juarez, Laredo. Think about Tijuana. Think about all along the 2,000-mile border. Our relatives, friends, colleagues, businesses, are they secure? Think about the fentanyl that's crossed the border that kills about 100,000 Americans every year. Think about the guns, assault weapons manufactured in the United States make their way across the border to the hands of cartels that kill countless of Mexicans every year. I've been there. I've seen a lot of it, the bloodshed, through my eyes. It's in the book. There's a chapter in there called Death from the Guatemalan Border. For those of you who still read magazines, I think they have an online version. Time magazine this next Monday will have a piece called The Death from the Guatemalan Border. What was my intention in writing that chapter of the book? To say that our solutions really are beyond just our 2,000-mile border. We have to look to the south. I remember going to Tuxtla Gutierrez. 56 people had died in a tractor-trailer crash. Those of you who are from the country, rural America like me, you know how we put livestock in the back of a tractor-trailer, just like we know in northern New Mexico. And it crashed. 170 people in that tractor-trailer. 56 died. I was in the hospital a few days later with a woman named Vanessa, her son Damian. I tell you those names because I have to make them up, because I need to protect them. But there she was. Her scalp had been torn off in the crash. Her child, 3-year-old toddler, they had paid $15,000 to the criminal enterprises, the cartels that would bring them north to our border with the United States. At her hospital bed in Tuxtla Gutierrez, I said, I was sorry. I didn't know what to say. I'm the United States ambassador, having been a senator, having sat in the Oval Office, working for presidents. How could I do anything but feel the pain? She says to me, she says, Embajador, muchas gracias que vino a visitarme. I told her I'm here because I care. She told me her story. They got loaded on that trailer that morning. They were headed north, 1,500 miles across this perilous criminal journey to get to our border, because she was going to go see her husband working at a dairy farm in Wisconsin, who she had not seen for 2 years. Her son had never met her father. So with great optimism and hope, they loaded this trailer. Now, I say to my fellow colleagues still in the United States Senate, both Democrats and Republicans, that's not the American way. We need to fix things. We need to have some courage to do it. I've been there. I worked a lot of time in the Senate. But you remember that time? Some of you, 2006, 2005, 2006, where we passed, in those days, comprehensive immigration reform, only to be killed by Dennis Hastert and the Republicans in the House. Why? Because they realized that the broken border and migration and demonizing migrants would propel them to political power. We saw that happen in 2016. We saw it happen in 2024. God forbid that we let it happen again in 2026 or 2028. But there is hope. If I put all of you in the room, I've studied this. I led Brian for a long time. We know what has to be done. And so my book is about the call for this new American alliance. My book also, Borderlands, is about the importance for standing up who we are. We're proud. You know, Barack Obama and I walked in to Washington, into the White House, the same day. I was the Secretary of Interior, confirmed by the Senate on that day, Inauguration Day, 2009. Danny Inouye, some of you will remember him, the most decorated soldier, Marine, in the entire history of the United States, the 442nd. Japanese Americans standing up to fight for freedom in World War II. Lost his arm, Medal of Honor. He convinced me to take the job as Secretary of Interior because he said, Ken, you're in the Senate. You can do some great things here. But he said, as Secretary of Interior, it's the most important department of the United States because you're the custodian of America's natural resources, our oceans, our lands, our climate. But he said, as importantly, you're the custodian of America's heritage. And frankly, we have failed to tell that story. Where are the African Americans on the National Mall? How do we celebrate the contributions that Japanese Americans made in World War II? Where are the contributions of Mexican Americans, Native Americans, women? And so we set about to change the world in that way. And we made some progress. We made a monument, a national memorial that we permitted and we built on the National Mall to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In Maryland, Harriet Tubman, we created a national monument for her. Here in California, in La Paz, the monument named then for Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, for the farm workers, not so much the individual, the struggle. We did it in Honolulu, in Hawaii, to say we will not let that chapter happen to us again. That just because you happen to be different, you're going to be sent to an internment camp. That's what we're working on. 2016 brings a change in the world. It may be perhaps, as some people said, Barack Obama came too early to have an African American, an orphan, a son of Kansas and Hawaii, being in the White House. Maybe that was too fast for the people. I don't know. But the pendulum swung back. So now, this time, this November, 2028, we have to make some changes. Otherwise, my uncle Leandro, northern New Mexico, San Miguel, outside of Cuba, the ranch, died in the fields of World War II. My father, buried in his Army uniform of World War II in Hawaii, restoration of Pearl Harbor. My mother, God bless her soul, age 19. I see all the young women who are here. So proud of them. She, at 19, took the train at Belen, goes across the United States of America to Union Station, helps open up the Pentagon, moving what was then the War Department over to the Pentagon to make the Department of Defense. Today, the Department of War, how can that be? Where's that legacy? of those who gave us this opportunity. So I am very proud to be a citizen and servant of the United States of America. But I must say this. It is you who are here that are going to make this difference. I could tell you a story about each one of the 50 states. I've been to them a number of times. I'm going to ask Amanda Gonzalez from Colorado. Where are you? Amanda, please stand. Going to be the next Secretary of State of Colorado. First Latina. Stay standing, Amanda. Stay standing. I want the eyes of the world to shine on you. Okay? You know, when she started her race for Secretary of State, the establishment said she couldn't win. They said, Gonzalez? They had somebody with another name. And Democrats, very, very popular. They said she can't win. You know what happened this November, or this election in June, for us, June 30th? Amanda won all 64 counties of the state of Colorado with a resounding victory. So, you know, in her, I see a United States Senator. In her, I see another cabinet officer at the United States, a governor. In her, and all the women who are here, I see the next president of the United States of America as a Latina. And I see it here in the leadership of California, in the Senate and in the House, in your leadership. But I also see it here, frankly, and you have a choice to make. This is a 501c3. I'm speaking in my own capacity here. Are you going to embrace, dime con quien andas y te diré quién eres? Are you going to embrace somebody who believes in our fight for an inclusive America, like Javier Becerra? Or are you going to choose the mantle of the alternative, which is basically this project of erasure? California has led the way, just like New Mexico, in so many ways. So lots going to happen here in this place. I don't know about 2028. Who's going to be our candidate? Going to be a Latino on the Republican side? Maybe. Is it going to be somebody like Ruben Gallego, whose family's like from Chihuahua, who understands Arizona and the border, who fights like hell for an inclusive America? Could we have a serious presidential contender that rises up from the Latino community? I say that the principles of NALEO drive us to that moment. They drive us to that moment. I'm going to skip a lot of this. They said, need to wrap up, Mr. Secretary. So I'll finish where I started. You know, there's a great time for us to be optimistic. It is a crisis of politics in our country. We can't seem to fix most things. The Washington I knew, with the George W. Bush and the Laura Bush and the John McCains. Indeed, in those days, Lindsey Graham, great friend. Where has that gone? Where has that gone? Well, I think it's still there, because there are more of us who believe that our best times are still ahead. And there are a lot of us who believe that an inclusive America is absolutely a part of that future. How will the United States, in its economic reality, in the integration of supply chains, in Mexico now being the #1 trading partner in the history of humanity with the United States, our trading partner, how will the Latino, Mexican American, Western Hemispheric community, how will we shape that future? Let me tell you, the economy of the United States depends on all of us. We're part of this economic engine, and Walmart knows it, just like MetLife knows it, just like every corporate organization that's part of this event today. They know it. You're the future from that point of view. But the very democracy of the United States also depends on our engagement. It means the voting rights in the way that Willie Velasquez heralded it for so long. It means NALEO and what it's doing to make sure that people understand what their voting rights are. It means the fund. But at the end of the day, it means each and every one of you. The leadership assembled in this room is powerful. It is dynamite. And you are the ones that are going to make the difference in the days and months ahead. Some of you are Republican. Some of you are independent. Some of you are Democrats. But no matter who you are, you really believe that the United States of America has given us the opportunity to achieve some great dreams. And you are dream makers. That's what NALEO is, the dream maker organization of the world. Happy birthday.
One more round of applause for the ambassador, and I'm going to turn this program over. We want to thank those who served us lunch today and our veteranos like Brigadier General McBurnett right here front and center. We're glad to have you with us at NALEO this year, and I'm not sure she's gotten enough applause. She certainly hasn't got what she deserves. How about a big round of applause for our chair of the NALEO Education Fund, Alejandra Sotelo Solis.
All right, I heard, dime con quién andas, y yo te diría quién eres tú. Look at this room. Fabulous gente with such big hearts. Thank you, Secretary Salazar, for those remarks. And again, you don't know where you're going until you know your history. As a granddaughter of Mexican immigrants from Guadalajara and Ajua and Tijuana, we need to know our history so we can move forward and make our community better. So with that, we thank you for your continued dedication to your community. Once again, one more round of applause for Mr. Salazar. Okay. I know some of you are watching it. So, por favor, no se hagan. But we know that the World Cup is still going on. What's the score? 0-0. See, that's the gift that I give to you. You didn't miss nothing. Okay, so what we're gonna do, this is a global event happening here right in Los Angeles, and there's no better place in the world to be than here in Los Angeles. But we are now pleased to recognize a presenting partner who helped make this conference possible. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Yesenia Monsur, Senior Director, Southern California, Regional Government and Community Relations from Kaiser Permanente, to the stage. Give it up.
All right, buenas tardes, everyone. Put this up here. Yesenia Mansour, I guess how it should be shared, right? Proud American, proud daughter of immigrants from Mexico, first generation, and so really proud to be here and hear all the great speakers and all of you here today. And Kaiser Permanente is very excited to be the sponsors of the second half of the Argentina-England game, which, like she said, is 0-0, so no pasó nada. Just pretend it's just a shorter game, and then we'll go in all in, right? So again, very proud to be here. And you know, for Kaiser Permanente, as you can imagine, it's all about health and about well-being. And as much as we want to focus on making sure that everyone is getting their proper health checkups, all your preventive work, getting all your vaccinations, making sure both your physical health and your mental health. We know that a part of just being healthy is being happy, right? And having personal connections, community connections, like many of the ones that we are building today. And we also know that sports is a wonderful way to be able to grow both our physical health, our mental health, and that community connections, right? So whether you play sports, hopefully some of you here still play sports or are active, or maybe you play with your families and your kids, but many of us perhaps we focus on watching sports, and that's perfectly okay too. And that's part of health, right? Because we're getting our lungs exercise as we're shouting and we're screaming, and we're all screaming our long version of goal. We're getting our emotions up and down. But I think most importantly with sports is we're not thinking about work. We're not thinking about the 8,927 emails that we haven't checked because we've been here at NALEO. We're just focusing on the moment. We're focusing on our relationships, having some friendly banter with our colleagues at the table. So very happy to be here today and promoting the importance of sports in our lives. We want to make sure you take advantage of some of the fun things we have right outside of the ballroom. We have these custom made for today, the NALEO KP co-branded handkerchiefs. If you'd like a bandana, you can go back there and they can stitch your name or a slogan or something. If you just want to take this, that's great too. Also in the back with my amazing KP colleagues that are all here today. Hopefully you've had a chance to interact with our team. In the back, we also have a fun little activation. You can go and get some prizes, and make sure you go out there, especially in the next 15 minutes, because we're going to have a fun little opportunity raffle, or I think the lawyers have to call it opportunity chance or something like that. And we just drop in your business card, and we have some fun prizes with some KP swag and some FIFA swag as well. So, enjoy your maracas, your clappers. We're going to go all in this next half, so everyone, and we're going to have food, so we're all going to have energy. And again, on behalf of Kaiser Permanente, thank you all very much for having us here today.
What's a better idea for healthcare? What if the key to peak performance was having a team that worked together? For your physical health, mental health, whole body health. That's integrated care from Kaiser Permanente, a better idea for healthcare. Con Stella Rosa ya se armó.
Pistachio latte.
And 2 more pistachio lattes.
Café cubano.
Tú no eres de los que sigue trends, ni buscas asimilarte.